Welcome to Shop Talk, where we chat about what's going on in our businesses right now, what's exciting and what's challenging. When something exciting happens, we want to ensure we take a moment to recognize and celebrate our successes. When things are challenging, talking through them to gather each other's perspective is often so insightful.
If you're going through any of these challenges at the moment as well, we hope that by sharing openly, you know you're not alone and that as business owners, we're all navigating this crazy journey together. Well, I'll start off by saying I just feel like business is challenging right now for me. And I feel like my SOS voice memo to you a week ago or 2 weeks ago is like a very good representation of that. I was like, hi, is your business flailing?
So say more, because I'm curious to know like what you're seeing
Yeah.
that like triggered the I gotta check in with some people. Like abort, SOS. Like, is anyone else seeing this? Are we talking like last year, this time you had 100 inquiries by now, and now you've got 97? Like, are we full on Brianna in this,
No.
or
I
is
feel
it like
I
a
have definite reason and like data to back my concern, but I think
okay?
that I could be premature with it, right? So I
Sure.
think, and I have said before on like our shop talks, like last year was a really good year. And so even going into this year, when I looked at like how last year ended and what was already on the books for 2026, I was already just slightly, not a huge amount, slightly ahead of the previous year. And since last year was so good, I was like feeling really great. Like I'm in a good
Gotcha.
spot, things are going well. January was really strong. And then maybe like mid-February or something, not like the greatest February ever, but then March came and I was like, WTF. And,
Okay. Just
I
inquiry slow down. That's what you mean.
inquiry slowed down,
Okay.
which means booking slowed down, which means no money's coming in, like all the things, the
Yeah.
domino effect or whatever. Now, normally, I'm looking at like quarter by quarter more so than like month over month, just because
Yeah.
we can never like fully predict, year over year, like specific with specificity. But I feel like since like mid-February through March, the trend has been obvious. And for me, also, because I'm looking at not only just this quarter, but then like, hey, where is this year trending now based on how it ended last year? And also that is concerning, right? Because like Q1 is, but for all intents and purposes, anyone who does
Yeah.
this type of travel, our biggest booking season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know that like what happens in Q1 is very indicative of like how the year goes for the most part, unless something crazy happens or out of, the norm, but just like following trends and seeing patterns, that's what it is for me. And
Mm-hmm.
so I just got really concerned and I really didn't have anything to put my finger on in terms of like things that I was doing, because the year ended well from last year, the year started off well, and then it's just been a nosedive in like, if I told you like actual numbers, you'd be like,
So
like legitimately.
So I'm going to put on my KPI hat now.
Okay.
I think the biggest struggle and like challenge as an entrepreneur and a business owner and with like goals and numbers, the biggest challenge is usually focusing on numbers that you are in control of.
Right.
And the number of inquiries that you receive is out of your control. 100%. Yes. You do not have any control over when people click on your website, complete the form and submit it, or email you or text you or whatever they do. Completely out of your control. So you don't have any control over bookings. You don't have any control over the size of individual bookings, whether that trip is a 15K trip or a 50K trip, right? Like you can plan it, you're going to give it all your heart and soul. And at the end of the day, the amount that it's worth is what the client's selected, and it is what it is. So I think you're looking at all the same numbers that I would look at, but I would challenge you to consider like one additional data point, and that's like that would be related to what you have control over. So has your outreach or networking or Instagram presence or newsletters or the way you keep in touch with past clients, like anything related to like your initiatives and your actions, has anything about that changed in the last 6 months?
Nothing has changed. To that point, I feel like I've just gotten more consistent with like what I do for marketing, what my messaging is, all of that. And I understand like definitely inquiries by and large, I'm not affecting them unless like I'm looking at my actions specifically related to top of funnel and or how
Yeah.
people kind of like land on my website or, what messaging I'm putting out there. Like I'm not doing anything less. If anything, I'm being more consistent there. And it wasn't ever this year the goal to kind of like increase, the
Right.
number of website views or the number of, that wasn't the goal. So it would seem to be that like my consistent efforts would lead to consistent outcomes. And that's not what's happening. Right. So that's,
So only asking questions out of curiosity at this point.
yeah.
I know that March was a concern. When you look at the whole quarter, January, February, March, is it as big of a concern compared to last year?
I think the concern is it's not like, whoa, my year's screwed. It's the downward trend, meaning I'm ending quarter one of 2026 behind where I was in 2025, but I started it in like
higher.
And so it's the trend that is most concerning, not necessarily.
So you started ahead and now you're behind. It's not you started ahead and now you're even.
Yeah. Yeah.
You went from ahead to behind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you say that, you mean what you have on the books compared to what you had on the books this time last year?
Yeah.
Okay. For the clients that are reaching out and like, has the quality of the inquiries you're receiving, has the quality of the inquiries shifted? Or are they pretty similar? Like in terms of like what percentage you're saying yes to, has the quality of the inquiry improved? Has it disintegrated? Is it similar?
I haven't seen any like noticeable difference. The amount of consults I've had in the month of March is shocking. Like I don't even know what to do with my day because I do consults all day, every day. It's really the only thing that I do in my business consistently.
I'll never understand. I know this is what you do. And yes.
I am over here twiddling my thumbs and online shopping, Whitney, because I'm bored. I'm bored. I don't have anything to do.
I don't even know what to say to that. I am not bored. Can you come over here, please?
I literally could help you. You could literally get my expertise to work on random trips that I would happily just spend my time doing and I'm being like a little bit dramatic, of course.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's things I can do in my business if I'm not doing consults, but normally this is my lane at this stage of business. And the fact that I don't have that to fill my time, I'm literally noticing how much time I have.
Yeah. So I am very curious. Like, I think this is a really interesting challenge. And I am so thrilled and like happy that you're talking about it because I don't think you're alone. So whether this happens 10 years in or 2 years in, it doesn't really matter. I feel like the strategies are going to be similar. Are there clients who generally plan every year that you haven't heard from yet?
Somewhat. So I think that the thing, and I think this is one thing I had shared with you in the voice memo that I was like brainstorming. So worldwide, things are in a bit of a like, I don't know what even the word I would use.
Uncertain?
Uncertain, yeah. So when there is something going on like a war, it can affect travel specifically. And sometimes in our mind, we're like, well, the war is in the Middle East. Thank God I'm not a Middle East specialist, right? But depending on, places nearby or just like the type of clients, like I literally have had clients cancel trips that were about to like deposit going to Japan. I'd had clients contact me that were going to Europe, but they were first time travelers. And so just like anything makes them a little bit nervous. I've had clients, this huge, probably like the biggest trip on my books for this year. It's like 10 people going to Egypt next month. And they were concerned and like wanting to know what like the cancellation terms were at this point. Like, so there are definite things. And some of those I was like, when, she canceled her Japan trip, I'm like, can we pull out a map here? Like I have to respect.
And she specifically mentioned the war being the concern for Japan.
It was like what the war was doing to other things. Yeah. Like it was all the, and I don't know who's listening and I don't know what their views are and what have you. So like people are allowed to feel what they feel. But in my mind, I was like, are you effing kidding me?
Yeah.
So I do know that a percentage, and this is going to be different for all of us and all of our different clients, is maybe this, because I can see the reaction to people who already have like proposals out or trips booked and what they're feeling and the conversations I'm having with them. I don't have that same understanding of people who just aren't reaching out, right? So maybe there is
well, I think uncertainty is a reason not to reach out. I think it is very, I mean, because sometimes I try to think about myself as a client, and I don't know that I would be a great client the way that I plan, because I will think about something for months. And then when I'm ready to take action, I want it done now. And so that's kind of why I was wondering if you've talked to anybody who hasn't like reached out, but like they're usually clients who you hear from every year, to just know like, do you have something in mind and you're just feeling uncertain, so you're not reaching out yet and you're not yet ready to move forward yet? Or are you just like, I don't want to travel? Like, I find that very hard to believe for people who have a habit of traveling every year. Like, my assumption is uncertainty is paralyzing.
Yeah.
For some.
Yeah, definitely. And so I think that there is a percentage of what is happening that can be attributed to that. And then again, there are times in my business where I look and I'll be like, what the heck happened that month? So weird, so random, like really no rhyme or reason. It corrected itself, It sorted itself out. Looking at a bigger picture and looking at how the year went, it really didn't matter that random 1 month was such a dip when it normally isn't. That has definitely happened in 10 years of business where I can say that. And so I think right now it takes a little bit more time for me to kind of see, is this trend continuing or is it a blip? And then getting more understanding of like, hey, what's going on? Where are people's uncertainty? And then back to your point of like the KPI issue, it's like, if more of my focus and time and energy goes back to how I impact the top of funnel in my business, when normally I'm not at this current stage of business spending that much time trying to impact it, to be honest with you, but I can go back to that stage of business and say, hey, what does it look like to really focus on XYZ, and how does that move the needle? Because this is what the business sees in the season. I'm capable of that, right?
Yeah, I think all of this is, I think it's really hard to like be in your position and be patient, because like you're looking at the information that you're looking at and it doesn't feel great. And so having anyone say, well, like wait a month or two and see if like, that's obviously the worst advice, but that's what I'm going to say. Because I guess I am curious to know, like, is this a blip, or like maybe not another quarter, but like see what April does and see what May does, to just kind of be like, are we leveling out? Are we increasing? Are we continuing to decrease? Like, that would be great. You know what I mean? Like, just try to understand like what's happening. I think from a top of funnel like KPI perspective, if you used to do more there and then tons of inquiries were coming in, so you got to a point where you felt like you didn't need to focus on that as much, but now inquiries are decreasing, like that right there might be the lever. That could be an experiment of like, that month was unusually low. What if I lean back into being a little more present top of funnel? Like, will I see those results in the next 30 or 60 days? I don't know that that's needed yet, but if it gets to a point that you feel that it's needed, I guess the other question I would ask is, and I would ask this to any business owner, is like, from that top of funnel perspective, like what percentage of clients are repeat and referral versus what percentage are like coming into that funnel as like a new to you client?
Right. I know. I mean, honestly, my book of business right now is so heavy repeat and referral that it's usually around 85% of that is like, my yearly business. So new to me clients are not making up that much of my book of business.
And is that what you're seeing in this first quarter as well, or has that shifted at all?
Yeah, no, it's still the same. So it's
the
just
same.
literally less.
So it's less of the people you know and that you would generally have heard from probably by now. They're not reaching out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you don't want to hear this, because I wouldn't want to hear this, but a couple emails to check in and see how people are doing and touch base might enlighten you.
No, yeah, I know. That is definitely when I'm looking at how I move forward or the things that I do at the end of Q1 going into Q2, it's like the personal It's literally sitting down and just writing people personal emails, not my regular 6-month check-in, which is
Yeah.
templated and might just say, mention like where they went last time,
Yeah.
which is still good. It's a still good thing to have in your pocket and part of your workflow. But when I'm actually interested in moving the
Right.
needle and hearing real and genuine feedback, like I just want to know what's going on and how you're doing and are you traveling or not? And if it's not, like, what's the reason, so I can better understand like where people are at. That is specific emails to specific people that I sit down and write myself.
Yep. You've got a lot of time on your hands. You said so yourself.
I got my time.
I
And
would use
we're
that
not
time to
traveling
stop
right now.
shopping. I mean, shopping is not going to help if revenue is decreasing. So maybe send a few more emails to clients and shop a little less.
Not as fun.
Obviously not as fun. What are you buying?
Well, I literally this morning, I was like, "Oh, I need new bathing suits before summer gets here." So I was
True.
buying new bathing suits. And then I
Facts.
saw Banana Republic was having like a sale, and I'm like, "Ooh, let me get some more like linen stuff." Like just random, like I could be send me an ad on Instagram and you got yourself a sale. Like I have.
I know. I saw an ad recently. So I'm so bad because I always see stuff I'm interested in, but then I never remember the name of the company. So then I can't find it again. But it was a swimsuit company that they're Australian, and they make one pieces that are a different size on the top and the bottom. And this lady needs shit like that. Yeah. And I was like, so I've seen it's like a 2-piece that you can order in different sizes. This is a 1-piece that is like a 10 on the bottom and a 12 on the top, or like whatever it is that you need. Yeah. And I was like, that is brilliant. Genius.
Yes.
Yeah. So if I could remember the name of them, I would tell you. I regret not ordering it right there in the moment when I was like, late night scrolling, because I'm still thinking about it like 2 weeks later. Like that was epic.
That is so funny. Yeah. I have been doing all the things. I also know it's my disassociation. Like that's a helpful,
of course,
that I feel like my brain sometimes needs to be like, let's do this. It'll bring you a little hit of dopamine and you'll feel better. And then you'll go on about your day and what have you.
So I would say that for me, I haven't seen the shift in inquiries. I think total inquiries are up. Quality inquiries are still the same, which means that I'm getting a lot of inquiries that I'm saying no to, or I'm getting a lot of inquiries that just like are unrealistic type of thing. And also booking windows are much smaller. So I generally am working a minimum of 4 to 6 months in advance. But in this first quarter, I'm booking a lot of like 3 or 4 months in advance. I mean, a couple things were like 2 months in advance. And like for me, and these are custom trips, right? Like, this isn't like sun and sand. This is like, we have 10 days in Italy and we want to leave in 60 days. And it's like, oh, okay. I've had a lot of that this quarter. So that's actually made the last few months for me feel more stressful than usual due to the last minute nature of what I'm being requested to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think it's good that the goal that you had to kind of just like increase new to your business types of people is working.
I am seeing that.
Yeah.
I am seeing that. Yep. And not all of the new to me inquiries are low quality. It's just, it's like my percentages are lower than normal of like the percentage of how many I say yes to. But I am getting quite a few new to me that are specifically mentioning these marketing efforts. So it's like, it's a magazine that there's always an article. And so that has been probably the most successful marketing initiative I've ever done. That whereas like I did it and there's results and I can like see the results because people are telling me, I saw you in this magazine.
Yes.
And it's like,
remind me, was that when your client you had planned a trip for your client and then they did like a feature in like a local magazine or something like that?
Yeah, it's a local magazine. She's my client. She's a solo traveler and she's a freelance writer, and she generally writes in the travel and food and health space anyway. So this is like, this all kind of is within her scope of expertise anyways. The angle is that she never comes to me with a destination. She always just comes to me and is like, I'm ready to plan a trip. Like, where should I go? And she's always been this way since day one. And she's always just been like an open book. So we planned her trips like this for a few years. And then it was finally over like a glass of wine that I was like, we should write about this. Like, this is really fun. we always come up with ideas, and you always end up going to places that you would have never asked for. And this is my favorite way to like start a new trip design, is when people just the only decision they've made is that they want to go on a trip, and they generally know when, like season wise. And then we come up with ideas. And so we did her first article that was in the print magazine, and it went over really well. So now we interview a different person in the community, like a different business owner in our local community, and it's in their quarterly newsletter.
That is so cool. What a cool,
Yeah.
yeah, I love that.
Yeah. And it's been really like fun.
Yeah.
And I'm receiving a lot of inquiries that are specifically mentioning, like, I saw this article.
Oh, I love that. That's some press that works for you. I mean, you made it happen by like bringing up the idea. So obviously you were already planning good trips from her, but like to just like plant the seed of like, hey, we could do this. This sounds like a great idea. And then have it actually kind of just resonate with people. That's really cool.
What else are you working on? I mean, and when you're not shopping or on discovery calls, I've been in a deep, deep dive on Claude projects, making a lot of custom projects.
Yes, I am becoming, an AI genius, not really, but obviously there's so much to learn. It's always changing. It's always growing, and my knowledge is getting better. And so I've been working on a few different like custom prompts and different ways to use projects that are making my life easier, more effective and efficient is always the goal. And so lately, like just developing things, I had a meeting with my team about a month ago and discussed a whole lot of things. But then we just decided, hey, what are one thing in your like zone, in your lane that would make your day-to-day easier, that would make you more effective? And then we'll work together to build it, right? So with Kelsey, it was like final itinerary, like quality checks, right? And so we're going through and we're creating all of we're trying to get out of her brain, like what she does, what she looks for, and then how to like kind of just create something that when it does, it's never going to not have eyes on it before it goes out. So let me just be very clear about that. But if the majority of the work and the energy can be done by AI before, and then tell you, hey, here's are the things to look critical, non-critical, whatever. Anyway, so we built that with Alan, or with just like building itineraries and kind of trying to find a better process of what a DMC is giving us and what we're adding to an itinerary, and how it all kind of like is in a brand voice, and how it's all seamless, and to cut down on the copy and pasting, on the reformatting, on the changing of the language. So developing something like at the front end, because doing it at the front end for us just works a lot better. To take all of that input and really kind of just give us a one document to work from, building out the proposal. It also helps when other people are assisting that are not in your brain. So we developed kind of like a really great prompt for that. So I'm just trying to kind of bring them up to speed on how and why and when, and develop their skills and how to prompt, or how to like look through what they do and how they could be helped is my goal. But it's been, fun for me and helpful for the business. So
tell me more about the prompt that is help. I didn't quite understand the like making sure that on the front end, the itinerary and the branding and the verbiage and everything is like all on brand. So like, what's the prompt in order to get what output exactly?
Okay. So, like when you get, or I don't know, just depending on kind of like how you work, but say you get a proposal back from a DMC, right? And it's like, here are the tours, here's the hotels, blah, blah, blah. They're all going to come back different in terms of like how they spell out how they explain the hotels. What do they say about the tour? All of the information they get, blah, 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 blah. I want a way that our itineraries look and sound that is across the board the same. So no matter how a DMC explains a tour to me, I'm going to explain it in my brand voice. And same thing with hotels, linked to also like the clients, like, are they on a honeymoon? Are they on a family trip? Are they whatever? So there's the inputs that are going in to kind of like create what we're looking for, is like who the client is, what this trip is about, what matters to them, yada, yada, yada. Then the info from the DMC, the additional info and language that we're adding, but it's all kind of mushed together, for lack of a better technical term, and then giving us day by day of here's how it's all going to go in Travefy so that it's all, what's the word I'm looking for?
So it's like DMC proposal comes in, it's 10 days in Costa Rica with 2 different hotels and 5 different tours and activities. And you're putting in the prompt and it's coming back and saying, here's hotel number 1 with a description of the hotel that is on brand and consistent with all of your other itineraries, not just like a general description or a copy paste from the website, right? Am I understanding this correctly?
Yes. So
And then
that, and then also the tours, but then also like the
tour.
fill-in. So like say they have like they're in one destination for 5 days and they have like 2 half-day
3 days or
tours and then the
something.
rest is like DIY. So it's looking, okay, where is there nothing planned? And then what are we going to add here? And how is it going to like flow in? And then it's taking into account, okay, they're going to be here. So eating lunch in a walkable location, in a casual place, blah, blah, blah. And so it knows all the things that we're going to put into a final proposal and the order it's going to be in. And it's all one document we're working from when we're ready to upload it to, we use Travefy.
And then just start copy pasting.
So it's like the one document
Travefy.
versus like I'm taking from the DMC, but at first I'm reformatting it, but then I'm like having to add this day of leisure and then they need something to do this morning. So trying to do all the work up front so that this one document now has everything in one place and then it's all.
And it's working. It's like, here's your 10 days. It's not only the hotels and the tours that the DMC has provided, but I've also filled in.
Yes, because it's working from the client profile as well as the information we've given it. They like whatever it is that they like or are interested in to walk around to keep coffee shops, yada, yada, yada.
Interesting. So I've done a similar one. It doesn't include the hotel and touring, making sure the language is on brand part. So I guess I have 2 that seem similar, but on my side, they're separate. So I have one custom project that is just, you can enter a hotel name, a city or a region or a restaurant, basically any place. Mm-hmm. And it gives you a description that we would copy paste into Travefy. So I've provided my brand guidelines, but it's more of just like, I need something to put into Travefy. I need a few sentences to describe this. I feel like yours might be like a touch more like on brand or custom or something. That's like the initial input. And then I have a separate one that is destination guides. So it's for those free days or free afternoons where I come in and I say, we have a free afternoon in Stockholm. Like, what should we do? And then my prompt asks me, like, tell me something about the client. Is this the beginning of the trip or the end of the trip? What are they interested in? Who's the client profile? Like, is this a family or a couple or like, who are we working with here? And then I answer a couple questions and then it gives me like, here's an afternoon in Stockholm. So I think mine is similar, but like 2 separate, the way that I've set it up in the custom projects. But it's super helpful.
Yeah.
So helpful.
There's so much that I think when you just stay curious, I guess, and just say, hey, what would be helpful to me? What would make this faster and get to where I'm trying to get to without me doing so much of the manual labor? So it's definitely
and the brain energy.
It's
the brain energy too of like, I think staying curious to your point is so good. And also like, I'm never ignoring friction. Whenever friction is felt in our process or our workflow or in our team of just like, oh, this is so laborious or like, this is way harder than it needs to be or whatever it is, I'm constantly walking away and being like, there's a way to fix this. Like, how can we fix this?
And I love using my brain like that. But I think that that's what's helpful for me now with people who essentially own other lanes in the business is like why we have to come together, because I know that the way that I think and strategize is different than them. And maybe, I have more time to do it. And also just like, I have done it more, but I need to understand from them, like, hey, where are your tension points? Where does it feel like you're trying to figure out how to do this part, or it's just literally taking a lot of unnecessary time. So when we talk about it and you come to me with like, here it is, here's what would be helpful, or I don't know yet what would be helpful, but like, here's what I think could be, utilized, then I get to be creative and like, okay, let's come up with a solution here and build it and use my brain power on the front end to get it really great. Because listen, the problem with AI is like, no matter what you do, it's going to give you something. But the something is not like necessarily good. And that is the biggest problem people face, is like, you're not getting good stuff, and or on brand stuff, or even something that you would feel proud of. You're just getting stuff because you gave it nothing good to start.
You have to have a very, very intentional, high quality input to even describe what you want. And then you have to look at the results and be very discerning and be like, this is good, but not this. Try
Yeah,
again. You know,
me
like
too.
it's a
Yeah,
lot of, I've spent a lot of time in the last couple of weeks, like getting them set up, but now, and then I upgraded Claude to be a team, like an enterprise account, so
mhm.
that I can create these custom projects and invite my team into it so everybody has access to them. And my one assistant who is like using them a lot, she is like, this is great. I love this so much. Can I create custom projects? And I'm like, yeah, you can. Share them with the team. Like, that would
Yes,
be great.
you may.
Yeah. So I created another one that, like, for me, it's a lot of brain energy to like look through a 2 week long trip where they want dining reservations every single night, and to just like go through the itinerary and figure out like what makes sense each of these nights. Like, is this a mostly free day? Is this like a full day out wine tasting? Or is fine dining make sense here? Does casual make sense here? Like, there's just way too many like things. So I built a project to do it. I
Yeah,
put in the Travefy itinerary, it scans it, and then it gives an outline. And it's like, you need these like skip these. You don't need these. They have like a cooking class that afternoon anyways, things like that.
yeah.
And then this one needs it, but probably just casual because they're going to have a late arrival from the train, or, like, it's doing all that hard brain work.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I think that's, hopefully this makes sense for people wherever they're listening at in their own processes or coming up with the things, is like, the thought process that you go through as an advisor to get to where you want to go to. If you look at a day and you're like, oh, wow, they have a full day tour from 9 to 5. Do they really need a 10-course tasting menu on days like that? No. Or did they do a cooking class this day, and are they going to go have the best meal? Like, there are so many things that we think through
So many nuances.
Yes. And so when you start to capture those and then have that be the parameters that you're feeding it, that's what's important, because then it can do it on your behalf. But you have to give it those nuances on the front end so that you get out what you want.
Yeah. I'm having fun with it, and the results so far are great, and my team is loving it. And my team is also very like appreciative of like, this makes what we're doing so much easier and quicker.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm ready for more business, because I got all this time on our hands.
Maybe that's what it is. Are you sure inquiries are down, or do you just have more free time because your Claude prompts are working so well?
It's a little bit of both. I won't lie.
It's helping us. I mean, I'm already very aware that I need to like start getting more work ready for my assistant, because the Claude projects are helping her do her work faster.
Yeah.
Which is which is awesome.
Do not come to me telling me that you are overwhelmed or that you have too much work on your plate. It cannot be the case. There is no way, because I see the time being saved.
Yes. Well, keep me updated on these AI breakthroughs, because even just a prompt for me, it's a lot of like ideas of like, well, what projects have you set up? What prompts are you using? Because I've got mine, but I know that people have ideas or projects that I just haven't thought of yet. So
yes,
I'm always eager to hear.
Good, because I love being an open book.
Well, here's to an avalanche of inquiries in April. I hope you're ready, because they're coming.
Thank you.